Homesteaders, Gardeners, and Cooks. My name is Jennifer. Welcome to Miles Away Farm, or welcome back. Today in the kitchen we are having fun with some spirits. We are making homemade wild gin. And if you're not familiar with the flavorings that go into gin, the primary flavoring that goes into gin is juniper berries. And if you've ever crushed a juniper berry between your fingers and smelled it, and you're somebody who drinks gin on a frequent basis, you will immediately recognize, smells like gin. That is the primary component in there, but gins can contain all different kinds of botanicals. And all it is vodka that has been basically infused with flavorings. And so what we did is we bought a bottle of good tasting vodka. This should be a vodka that you want to drink, that is reasonable for sipping, so not the bottom shelf cheap stuff. This particular brand, it's Ocean Vodka, and we did a trip to Maui, probably 6 or 7 years ago now, and toured the facility that makes this. It's made out of sugarcane, and it's quite good. We're not huge straight vodka drinkers, but really nice vodka, and it has a sweet note to it. It's not sweet, but there's a caramel note in there that is just lovely. And so we thought that would complement well, plus because we knew the brand, we thought it would be a good one to try. And then this recipe comes from a website called Grow, Forage, Cook, Ferment. And I became aware of this from following Hunt, Gather, Cook Facebook group, and that is one of the best groups on Facebook, hands down. It's very well managed and very respectful. And somehow the conversation came up about doing infusions and gins, and the person who put this recipe together posted a link back to their blog site. So that's how I found this. And what intrigued me about it, one, we have a juniper tree on our property, and so I thought it would be fun from that point of view. Rogue Brewing, which was a big beer company in Oregon that is now unfortunately bankrupt and out of business. Rogue Brewery for a while had a distilling branch, and one of the gins that they made was a spruce tip gin. And it was hands down the favorite gin that my husband and I have ever drank. And we went in there and tried a sampler when we were on vacation and bought a bottle of it. It's the only gin I've ever had that you really could just sip in a glass. It was just delightful. Unfortunately, they quit making it long before they actually went out of business and ended up moving on to some other product. So clearly we were in the minority in terms of loving that gin. But this recipe called for spruce tips, and we thought that would be a fun opportunity as well. And then all of this is just things that are in your kitchen. All of these were easily available, and we thought we'd give it a try. And it turned out quite well. So homemade wild gin. Let's get started. So this is a spruce that's in our backyard, and I don't know the variety, but I learned a long time ago there's some tricks for identifying conifers. Pines come in packages, so the needles always have a little container at the end that's holding several needles together, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 5, but pines come in packages. Firs are friendly, and so when you pet them with your hand, they're soft, and spruces are square and sharp, and so if you roll a needle in your fingers, it's going to be square, and they're quite pokey and stiff. So we know this is a spruce, even though we don't know the variety. You can also tell from the cones, but that's a whole different story. Fir cones fall apart and you never see them on the ground. Spruce cones are retained on the tree. So here we have coriander, a bay leaf, a sage leaf, our spruce, our juniper berries, some allspice, and some dried oranges. We're going to start out with a couple tablespoons of our juniper berries going into a jar. And the darker the color of the juniper berries, generally the sweeter they are. They're always going to be very resiny, but they do take a couple of years to mature on the tree, and so darker is usually sweeter. We're adding our vodka to this. This is a 750 milliliter bottle of vodka. And we're going to let this soak for 12 hours. So this gets a pre-soak before you add everything else. So there's our juniper berries hanging out in there. We'll leave that until the next day. So here we are. Next day, we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. So we've got coriander seeds going in. Coriander is just the seeds from cilantro, and I always let some of that go to seed because the bees love it, and collect some of it for use in my own cooking. Has a spicy, almost citrus note to it. I have lots of dried oranges, so we're just adding some dried orange peel. You could use fresh here as well. Here we have one sage leaf and one fresh bay leaf. Dried would be totally fine. And then in go our spruce tips. And then we also need a cinnamon stick and 1 allspice berry. We're going to let that sit for 36 hours. It looks quite lovely. And you do not need to worry. Anything that's over, I think, 40% alcohol is naturally going to be antibacterial, anti-germ, basically. And so I don't have to worry about any of these things being fresh in here because the alcohol is going to take care of anything that might be growing on there. This is after 36 hours. We've definitely seen a color change. And we're going to just strain out our botanicals. They are spent at this point, or certainly have given up the notes that we want them to give up. Sometimes if you leave things too long, you start getting bitter notes and other notes in there that you don't necessarily want. So the timing on this is probably important. There's all of our spent botanicals. I'll toss that into the compost. And then we're going to have a little taste here and see what we think.
Oh, that's flavorful. Yeah, that picked up a lot of flavor. It's complex.
Cool.
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah. All more complexity. Picks up more of the other flavors in there than I was expecting.
Nice.
Yeah. Sample?
Yeah.
Yes.
What does that smell like?
I think the bay leaf comes through more than...
Oh, interesting.
Right? It's much more savory than I anticipated.
Yeah, it doesn't have the... There's a brightness to gin usually, kind of a top note that is not there. But interesting for sure.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, cool.
Let's go.
Fun. So there you have it, tribe. Homemade gin from ingredients that are probably in your kitchen and in your yard. Give this recipe a try. Thanks for watching, tribe. If you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment or share. I have new content coming out whenever I have time.